Welcome back to Sports Illustrated's College Hoops Weekly. I'm your host, Claudette Montana, joined by SI college basketball writer Kevin Sweeney to give us a weekly recap of the top headlines in college hoops. Kevin, what stood out this week from the men's side?
Yeah, St. John's and Rick Pitino have taken over the Big East race. Huge game on Sunday against Creighton. Was highly watched in that league who would take control of the conference, and St. John's did, thanks to 23 and 14 from RJ Luis, who is, for my money, the Big East Player of the Year. But a remarkable turnaround at St. John's under Pitino, chance to win the conference for the first time in 3 decades. They have flipped things much quicker than anyone expected.
All right, let's take a look at the biggest matchup on the men's schedule this weekend. Which game stands out to you?
Yeah, a rare non-conference game in late February. Illinois and Duke headed to New York City to play at Madison Square Garden. It should be an absolute blast. Obviously, the one question with Duke is what do they look like against better competition? The ACC has been down all season long on a ton of high-level opponents. Illinois gives them an opportunity to test themselves. Now, Illinois has struggled some of late, but has a top 10 draft pick of their own in Kasparas Akashonis at point guard, shooting all over the place, and another NBA prospect on the wing in Will Riley. So be a good measuring stick game for this Duke team to see where they stand in the national picture.
All right, SI staff writer Emma Baccellieri is here to give us the latest on the women's game in college hoops. Emma, what stood out to you this week?
The national title race is more open than it's been at any point this year. We had UCLA finally getting knocked off by USC. We had South Carolina having their home win streak come to a pretty stunning end with a dramatic blowout loss to UConn. The new number 1 is Notre Dame, but it really, at this point, it looks like that championship could belong to anyone after this week.
What's the top game to look forward to this week?
I want to see Notre Dame in action against NC State. So this will be Notre Dame's first big matchup after being ranked number 1. NC State, number 13. Pretty good, tough team here. Should be a good test of what we're seeing from Notre Dame here.
Okay, it's now time for this week's Stock Report with Kevin Sweeney. We're breaking down who's up and who is down in the world of college hoops. Kevin, who you got?
Yeah, Houston was dominant for years in the American. Moved to the Big 12. Question was, how would it continue? Well, they're on their way to the second straight Big 12 championship since joining the league. Won on the road at Arizona over the weekend. Now really in full control. A 2-game lead. Big-time rally down the stretch after trailing by 7 with about 8 minutes to go. LJ Cryer with 2 huge threes. And Milos Uzan, the X Factor, their point guard, has been phenomenal of late. Stock down, unfortunately, the 2-time defending champs UConn. A shocking loss on Saturday against Seton Hall, a lowly Seton Hall team that was 6-18 coming into that game. UConn led by 7 under a minute to go, got sent to overtime, then in overtime led by 5 with under a minute to go and blew the lead on a late turnover. Challenges from star forward Alex Caravan came in after, said basically our guys aren't tough enough. We don't fight for UConn the way that our championship teams have. We'll see how the response is from this UConn group here down the stretch.
All right, back with Emma Baccellieri. We're breaking down who's up and who's down in the world of women's college hoops. Emma, who you got?
Going up, I have AZ Fudd. I think we've all been waiting for a big statement game from her for quite a while now that she's finally healthy, and we definitely got it this week. First she set her career high in points against St. John's, and then going down to South Carolina with that big matchup on the line, she showed up bigger than anyone and finally got to see her putting everything on display there. Going down, I have Kansas State. They lost to West Virginia after that big loss to Oklahoma State last week. Those are their last 2 games against ranked opponents, but luckily for them, they do have Ayoka Lee coming back very soon from injury.